whole city. It's a Dish with Deeva show. Here she is, the one and only K-Cee Deeva.
What up? What up? Somebody told me that my voiceover guy, shout out to Trelante for doing that voiceover, AC Soul for doing my theme music, baby bro. But somebody said they thought it was Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, it is. Snoop Dogg, Snoop D-O-W-G.
I was like, every time I hear it, he comes to mind. I'm like, yeah, he does sound like.
Hey, and if they ask, don't ask, don't.
Maybe one day. Hey peeps, welcome to another edition of Dish with Deeva. I am, of course, your hostess, Deeva, and it's always a fun time here. We're coming out of the gate with some laughs because my guests I have on tonight, they're my fam, joining me all the way from Memphis, Tennessee. I was there along with Anthony Adams, who is counterpart on Northwest Nightcap. I'm sure you catch that show every first Thursday of the month as well. Back next Thursday. We do the show with these two lovely folks, and we always have a good time. And boy, do we have a blast in Memphis talking about Southern hospitality. If you look it up, you're going to see Princess Robin and K-Cee Clayton.
Yes.
Their little picture is going to be right there with Southern hospitality. Anyway, I want to welcome my peeps to the show. Now, in case you didn't know, these two lovely people are a couple. They are married. And we're going on, 3 years? 4 years?
There were 3.5.
3.5. Okay, 3.5. So I wanted to have them on the show tonight because, when I'm on social media, when I'm, watching TV, when I'm listening to a podcast, relationships always seem to be the thing, right? Relationships, dating, and everyone knows it's not for the faint of heart because, it's kind of like gambling, right? You never know what you're going to get in a lot of cases. And exactly. Roll those dice and you just hope that, you hope for the best. So I wanted to have these two on today because even though we know no relationship is perfect, everyone has their challenges and whatnot. I have to say they are my model couple when I strive for what I want in a future relationship. So what better than to talk to them and find out what makes it work? Get some background on how they met. Now, the interesting thing about these two is Robin is from Seattle, Washington, and Kurt is from Memphis, Tennessee. And they managed to connect and make it work long distance. And so we want to kind of dive and find out how does that work? Because my experience with long distance relationships, it just never, it was great. And I might like the person and vice versa. But at some point, it just kind of fizzled because the distance and all that. So let's just jump right in. I want to know, first of all, how did you guys meet?
Short version, I was hosting a music festival in Seattle that Confunction played at. And we met there.
Okay, so let's clarify. Kurt is the musical director for Confunction and was in town.
I didn't know this at the time, though.
I did not know.
She didn't know this at the time. Okay. Oh, you did?
I didn't know.
I thought you did.
I will say this part. I'm trying to keep it brief because I know, this could easily be the whole show, this story. But I will say, so if we want to talk about things that matter in the relationship, I will say faith is a big thing. Honestly, I believe divine intervention pointed him out to me.
Yes.
Because I was there doing my merry little thing. He wasn't on my radar, but when I saw him come to the stage and get out of the van, I was like, sweet mother of God, this roadie is really cute. Right? He had the muscles. All I saw was some dude in a Batman t-shirt dealing with microphones and hooking up equipment. I was like, this roadie is hot. So I was like, yeah, I'm feeling your look there, Mr. Batman. Right? But I didn't know until into the show,
Mhm.
and I saw him. Okay, he's playing with Steve Harrington. Oh, he can play some piano. Okay, that's cute. And then I see, oh wait, he's a member of Confunction. Oh, okay. I really respect your flow. But I didn't know this when I first,
Yeah.
laid eyes and decided he was extremely like the object of my affection that day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Uh-huh.
and it's evidenced by all the selfies I took to get him in the background.
I remember those selfies.
Without knowing who he was, that was pre, oh, dude, he's on stage with Confusion. Oh, okay. And it wasn't until 6 months later that I realized he was the musical director of Confunction when we happened to cross paths again, because I met him that day. And then it was later, again, divine intervention. Because why in God's name would this man be traveling across country to Seattle, Washington twice in a year and cross paths with me if there was not some higher power trying to make this happen? Because he missed it the first time. He kind of missed it.
Let me help this brother out.
He kind of missed it the second time, but at least God, I think, was creating opportunities for us to intersect so that we could be in each other's space. So that's how we met. That's the shortest I can say. He's got a version that's
that's my next thing. I'm like, okay, we've heard Robin's version. Now let's hear K-Cee's version, and I want to hear, your reaction when you saw this lovely lady here.
She wrong. No, just play. Well, a lot of it, what she said was true, because like she was there to work, I was there to work. So I'm just coming in, just doing my job like I always do. It's just another city. And mind you, I really hadn't been to Seattle in over 5 years.
Really?
It had been at least about 5 years, about 4 or 5 years. So I hadn't been to Seattle, let alone coming back in the exact same year. So for me, I'm just coming in. It was a daytime thing. Literally getting out the van, having to go straight to the stage, set up, and play. Not going back to the whole, none of that. Just plug and play. And so I'm trying to hear him just get it rolling. And she made some small talk. Meanwhile, she's entertaining the crowd. She's like, "How long is this gonna take, Joker?" I'm like, "This." I
love it.
I'm like, keep talking to them. She's like, "Okay, Batman." I said, "Well, all right, my rock." And she's like, "Well, no."
Because he had the Batman T-shirt on. That's
right.
And I jokingly said, "Well, okay, then, my rock." She's like, "No, that's my name. That's really my name." I'm like, "Oh, cool." But keep on talking to him, And I kept working. And after the show, we took a photo together. That I know about. And I'm like, "Okay, well, it was nice meeting you," and I was gone. That was it. Then 6 months later, we happened to be booked at Jazz Alley for 3 nights, and they came the final night. And once again, it was like her friend actually was the one that said, because I was getting ready to go out the back door, the escape
route, yeah.
Like, "Excuse me, do you mind if my friend and I take a photo with you?"
Shout out to Laura.
Shout out to Laura. Good job, Laura.
Like, "Okay, well, cool." I'm like, "Where's your friend?" She's like, "Well, she's in the restroom right now." I'm like, "Well, okay, well, time 2 shows."
Like, I need to get home, get some sleep.
I'm out of here, And so I'm like, "Okay, we'll wait for a minute." And then she finally comes out. I'm like, "Oh, hey." She's like, "You don't remember me." I'm like, "No, I totally remember you, because I remember Batman and Robin," right? So we took the photo, and then when we took the photo, we took it with her phone. So I said, "Well, now you got to make sure that you send me a copy of that." She's like, "Oh, that's your way of trying to just get my number."
Yes.
I'm like, "Well, if that's how you want to look at it, good." So we exchanged numbers that night, and then we kind of conversed the rest of that night, and then we didn't really just kind of talk consistently immediately. It took a minute. And then she got mad at me because I had too many friends on Facebook. She couldn't be my friend.
Well, because he said, "Hey, look, let's be Facebook." He gave me his number, but he was like, "Let's be Facebook friends." So I go look him up, and I was like, "It says you're at capacity."
Was it like 5,000 or something? You only get 5,000 friends. That's a lot of friends.
I can't do it, but hey, it was nice seeing you. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah.
If the space opens up someday.
And I purposely made space.
You got rid of some folks, didn't you?
I'm like, where you at?
It was a few months, Deeva, but eventually I got a text.
I got it in there.
I was like, K-Cee Clayton wants to be friends. I was like,
no, she was like, oh,
I was like, and you know what? I do have to say this because my friend was at my house having a personal crisis. I feel really bad. She was pouring her heart out to me. We were sitting in the room. She was talking to me, and then the notification came through. I was like, "Stop!" Batman just sent me. Batman just sent me a Facebook friend request. I'm sorry about this very existential crisis going on.
I need you to pause.
But I gotta pause.
I love it.
Love it. Oh my god, I just got a Batman request.
Right?
It was so funny.
Finally. It's about finally, Kurt. Finally.
Yeah.
Glad you kicked those people off.
So if you're doing the math, we're now about 8-9 months in to the first time we met.
Yeah. Almost a year. But I think that's a testament to, taking your time and, getting to know someone. So I mentioned in the beginning, Robin, you were here in Seattle. He was there in Memphis. You met twice here. Definitely divine intervention. I mean, you can't, there's no other explanation for that. And even in that distance, you still had to really work, to keep the connection to, I'll let you guys kind of tell how, you kept in touch and how often and how did it work? Did it work initially or did you have to really kind of work at it?
It totally worked. I mean, I think eventually what happened was, we were kind of like texting each other, kind of like, every now and then, good morning.
Mm-hmm.
It was very sporadic.
And then I finally hit her up and said, "Look, I'm not really into texting. I'm old school. I like to call. Can I call you?" She texts back, "No."
Text back.
But then right after that, I'm like, cause we're texting, and I'm like, look, by the time I do all this texting, I could have just said what I wanted to say.
Right.
So she texts back, "No." But then but right after that text, cause I'm like shocked. I'm like, who this joker think she is? But while I'm thinking that, she immediately texts, "But you can video chat."
Oh,
that's even better.
Now, Deeva.
Yes, princess, I like that.
The night you and I had actually just come home from going to see. It was when we were still doing the
Dynamic Duo. Living it up.
And we had just come back from the Columbus show. So I was like, I was kind of cute, right? I had
I remember, yes.
Face was made up, my hair. I was like, go ahead and video chat assistant. I'm ready.
Yes.
So we video chatted.
That was the night.
And we video chatted and we talked for a while.
A couple hours.
We talked for 3 hours. And then, of course, I'm 2 hours ahead. So we finally said goodnight. And then the next morning, I'm looking at my watch. Like, okay, let me wait. Okay, 7 o'clock. No, it's just only 5 o'clock there. So I think it was 9 o'clock. I think it might have been like 9 o'clock my time. It was like 7 my time. And I'm like, good morning. Right? And then I hit the video chat button. And Now that I know now, reluctantly, she answered.
I answered, but Deeva, the night before, I was cute.
Right.
Now you call it at like 7 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I got like mascara down in here, hair's all looking funky. I was like, do I answer? But it was Batman, so I had to.
You had to pick up the call because when that signal goes out, that back signal, you gotta answer it.
My chances, like this dude is adorable. I gotta talk to him.
But that really became the beginning of our consistent communication because we got to a point where I don't think we after that we kept texting. I think we just started video chatting each other.
Yeah.
And it would be a situation where she would be at work and I would be at work. We would be on video chat. We would she'd have her phone sitting on top of her desk. I have my phone at the car.
Wow.
And we would just be like, okay, you're working, I'm working.
Yeah.
We were just kind of like in each other's space, through cyberspace, so to speak. And it just got to a point where her co-workers would come in and they'd be like, oh, is that Batman? Is that Batman? So she's talked about me. So I'm like, kind of flattered, I'm glad they didn't say, okay, is that, Junebug?
Junebug.
Somebody else's name out of my click, never heard from me ever again. But for us, it just became a natural thing because we had the distance. And we would just communicate on a regular. And even then, we would actually sync up and watch shows together.
Oh, wow. Now that's fun.
Yeah, we would just, we were like ready.
Yeah. Right.
Interject something though, because I think part of what you're trying to get at in this show is like what was the recipe, and I think part of the recipe for us was at the beginning there was literally no expectation that we would actually have a relationship. I mean, like when I met him in person that second time when we exchanged numbers, it was like I fly out to Memphis tonight. I was like, oh, bless your heart, I would never see you again.
Right.
Like it was so nice meeting you, and like there's a lot more to this story that like there was all that time, and we ended up dating other people, and we just really became friends.
Yeah.
That talked a lot, and although he was a very attractive person to me, and his heart was just golden, and so he was a presence in my life that was a friendly presence, but there was no pressure in that to like impress him like a friend. I don't know I can't speak for him, but in my mind I was like it's not gonna go anywhere, so we might as well be friends.
We started kind of like bouncing scenarios and daily situations off each other because like you said, because we were like in two different places.
Right.
So she became my, okay, from a woman's point of view person,
Yeah. That's kind of how it starts. That's what I hear a lot is how it starts. And you hear all the time, oh, your partner, your life partner, your spouse, should also be your best friend, right? And so I think what I've seen, mistakes I've made myself in relationships, it's like, everybody kind of dreams of that whirlwind romance, right? We think, oh, you see this person, there's going to be stars and fireworks, and it's just everything's going to align and fall into place. You two had the initial fireworks, that attraction to each other, but then the reality sets in, oh, yeah, well, I'm getting on a plane. Yeah, and I'm here. And, okay, this dude's cool. We'll keep in touch. We'll, chit-chat, whatever. And I think what's so unique about your story is that, as you're telling it now, how it, it evolved. And we're not talking about like over a month period. We're talking about like almost a year, 8 or 9 months, from start to finish, and that divine intervention, and that you realize like, okay, wait a minute, there's something here. I enjoy spending time with this person. And, I think that with long distance relationships, they're especially challenging. I mean, I've known so many. Yours is one of the rare few that actually worked out, and follow through. And I think what you hit on, like the video chatting, doing fun things like watching shows, just having conversation, and the no pressure part, I think is key, which is also challenging for folks, right? Because when you like somebody, you're like, hey, you have this whole thing in your head about what kind of relationship you want, or I want to be with this person, or whatever. So I think it's really important for people to take note. Like, it's okay to take your time and get to know somebody, whether it's you're in the same city or whether you're long distance. Taking time to really get to know each other before just kind of jumping in, and then. So talk a little bit about, we've heard like the fun stuff and everything, but, I'm sure there were some challenges along the way as well, not to get nothing personal, but just in general, what do you think are some of the common challenges or even mistakes that people make when it comes to dating and relationships?
I think for me, I've learned you gotta just be in the moment and enjoy the moment, and stop putting so much pressure on what are we doing and how this, and putting titles on things.
Mm-hmm.
I think and we've all been in those situations where we're quick to try to put a title on something, not knowing that we're really ready for that title. And sometimes you just gotta enjoy the moment, enjoy the ride, and sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees because we're trying to, put all this, in 6 months I want to be this, and in 1 year, this is my goal.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do that, and what happens is if you don't meet your landmarks, then all of a sudden this is not, it's a disappointment,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't enjoy all the things that have happened in the midst of it. For us, like you said, we came in with no expectation. We actually told each other we're going to just be serial daters. We ain't looking for marriage. We ain't trying to do none of that. We both been there, got the t-shirts, caps, all that for it. We got all the souvenirs. We were not trying to be that, but it just got to a point where at the end of my day, the person I want to talk about my day with was her.
Oh.
And vice versa,
Yeah.
And she'd be riding home on the bus, and I'll be making sure I'm like, you ride the bus? Because you work for me.
Yeah. I was like, transportation in Seattle is kind of a thing.
Yeah, it is.
Things,
Yeah.
She's my little Rosa Temple. She's the area Temple in Rosa Parks. All right.
Wait a minute. Okay, so now, how I want to hear how did you go from, okay, you met, hey, yeah, whatever, be cool to kind of chit chat with them every now and then, video chatting, watching shows together, waking up realizing, hey, I want to talk to this person and I want to end my day with this person, talking to this person, to now I think I'm ready to take that step, the big step, the proposal. How did that come about?
I think for us, the big jump for us was when we officially had our first date.
Which, mind you, was 5 months after we actually started talking in earnest. So
wow.
We started talking on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
It was 5 months before we actually had an in-person date.
Yeah. So, and I just said, and ironically, I had to do a show. 2 nights I had to do a show in Chicago with Howard Hewitt. And, of course, I rarely get a chance to go in ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
Because, for me, I'm normally, in the day of the show out. But this time, it was like, we're flying in, like a day ahead and things like that. And I said, hey, I'm going to be in Chicago with Howard. Would you like to come? And she's like, oh, I got family in Chicago. I'm like, okay, well, great. Then she was kind of like teetering. I'm like, I'll tell you what. What's your date of birth? Right.
In short, he got me a ticket.
So basically, while I was on the phone while we were video chatting, I got her a ticket. I said, now listen, here's a ticket. I emailed her the itinerary, the confirmation number. I said, now listen, You don't, no pressure. But I want to see you. If you come, great. If not, I totally understand. And I left it at that. She's like, well, I guess I'm coming to Chicago. So, and for us, it was the best thing that ever happened because that was kind of like, we got to make sure that this chemistry, is this really chemistry in person, the same chemistry, over the phone, over the internet, or is this, nice knowing you.
Right.
So, but for us, that was kind of like the turning point for us because even when the weekend was over, we didn't want it to be over.
Yeah.
Truly, because she was having to get back on a plane, going back to Seattle. I was in Memphis, and I'm at her gate, waiting for her flight. And she's like, and I think even then we were like watching something. We were watching something on Hulu or something like that. We were watching some show together, or on our phone, and saying goodbye was hard. It was very hard.
And look at you now, almost 4 years in.
That's not very different than when we actually got married.
Oh, yeah.
Because I still stayed in Seattle for 5 months after.
Oh, I remember. That's right.
Married. So it was like,
we got married.
I do. It is nice. Okay. Yeah. I'll see you eventually.
Yeah.
Well, that's a big move, though, right? I mean, talking Seattle to Memphis. So just tying up, affairs and that's a big link. That's a big link
to discuss because, of course, she was also helping out with her parents. Kids and things like that.
I lived my whole life in Seattle to come here.
But it was worth it.
It has been totally worth it. I mean, I think I would say though, Deeva, like some key things though was like because we did not have the normal trappings of like being in, I'm not saying everybody should date long distance first, but we had to build some really crucial skills that served us and continue to serve us well. Like communication, not the, physical is great, but that was not obviously a foundation for us. And, like understanding each other's interests and values. And, we also were doing that Traveler's Guide to Venus and Mars, where we were talking a lot about relationships and how we do them, how we navigate them. So, like there was overstanding, people will say, before we actually delved in and was like, okay, this is a relationship and I think we want to do this for long term and let's commit to not giving each other an out, because that's the other thing, I think because we were both married before, me twice, everybody hears me say that. It was like, it was pretty important to say, it's not that I don't want to get married again, it's that I don't want to divorce. So let's be sure that we are going into this in a healthy way, in a good way that has a good foundation, and that we have each other's back so that it will be successful. And there will be some challenges.
Yeah.
We are committed to supporting each other and working through them together. And I think he's an alien.
Alien?
I think he's an alien. I think there are maybe like this many Kurt Claytons in the world. And
I love it.
To find one of them. But it's just his heart is golden. He is true. He's honest. He is, supportive, attentive. He's committed to keeping things fresh, and we have a huge blended family.
Yes.
That's a whole nother episode.
We're gonna put that on the docket.
not easy to navigate, but
right.
Together, we in all things, I feel like he is my partner. And I said to him today, I was like, this is the most at peace and hopeful I've ever felt in my entire life. because that's just
That's
the
huge.
spirit he brings.
That's huge.
You know?
Yeah.
But he's not playing no games. He's not bringing no ego. We ain't got no playbook. We're just honestly living.
We're just
And what keeps it, I mean, I know because I know you guys and I've been around you guys and I see just the love and the true, genuine, I mean, but both you guys have gold hearts, and just the perfect match. And so for for people that are in relationships already, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a relationship, what is the secret to keeping it, to having that connection that you have, to where you're saying things like Princess said, this is the most, comfortable and calm I've felt. How do you keep that?
I think what we try to do and what I try to do is I'm trying to continue to date her. Because sometimes people are like, well, we married now, so we ain't got to do, My thing is, and I think we deliberately try to have date nights.
I love that. Yeah.
We date. And I think that's one thing, because what happens is if you continue to date each other, that means you continue to like each other. You continue to love each other. You continue to grow with each other. You can be corny, you can be funny, you can have good times and bad times, but not put so much pressure on yourself to where you still can't enjoy each other because you're still dating. And I think sometimes, and I know like in my first marriage, once we were married, it was like, okay, now we gotta act differently. Like, no,
right.
Why can't I continue to date you? Why can't I surprise you? Why can't I say, okay, we're going out to eat, and instead of going to the taco truck, we go to your favorite place, Coastal.
Yes, Coastal, the salmon and the sweet potatoes and the Brussels sprouts. Man, can you fly some of that? Like, can I have that imported up here?
You are well on your way to recreating.
You did a good job. You did a good job.
I tried. It didn't taste nothing like that, but it was okay. It got me through.
I want to highlight something he said, though, and that was be corny, because one thing we do not do is take ourselves too seriously. And
yes. I love that about you. Yeah.
All the time. Every day. He makes me laugh. I make him laugh. And it's just fun. Stop. That's an inside joke. But, I mean, it's just fun being in his presence. So, I don't feel like the heaviness that's going on in the world. There's sanctuary here. There's some lightness and some levity and
yes.
A word like
yes. We want to make our home.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that even when we're out and about, because I'm Southern boy, old school, holding hands, opening doors. That's just what I grew up knowing. Shout out to my parents, my mom and dad, God rest his soul.
Yes. Shout out to your mom, who we had a chance to meet.
That lady is a queen.
She's adorable. Oh, what a sweetheart.
Just, so for me, it's like, my thing is always trying to reassure her that no matter where we are, where we go, we got each other. I got you. And so that way when people see us, then they see us. They don't see two individuals. They see us. And so now, and it's just a natural situation. Like I said, anything that we're doing, we're not trying to force anything. We're not trying to do. We just it's just a natural thing. And I think that's the most important thing. If you got to force it, that's not right. It's just a natural situation, and we just naturally like each other. I tell her I love her all the time. I also come right back and tell her, and I really like you.
Yeah.
There is a difference.
There's a huge difference. Well, it has been so much fun talking with you two, and insightful, and Hopefully those lovers out there watching this, or people that, are looking for that special one, heard all the messages, having that faith, knowing that, you'll be directed to the right person and they'll be directed to you. And there won't be a question about it. And even if you're not sure in the beginning and it starts as a friendship, if it's meant to be, then you end up 3.5 years. What? Oh,
that was the applause.
That was the applause. I just caught it. Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I will talk to you soon, and you guys, we'll be back next week. Now, next week is oh my goodness, it's November 1st, actually. Next Thursday, we'll be doing Northwest Nightcap, where we'll get you all caught up on all the entertainment news. We'll have our perspective, myself, Princess Robin, Kurt, and Anthony Adams, who joins us as well. And it's always a good time. All the laughs you saw today, we're going to laugh even harder next week. So be sure to tune in, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And everyone, take care. And take your time out there. There's no rush. Take your time. Get to know people.
That's right.
All right. Later, peace.